discourse, everybody being mad is all going to be part of the promotion of getting even more people to pay attention to women's basketball because Caitlin Clark's in it. That when they put out there, when they told Nancy Armour and they told Sham Charania and they said, whoever it is that told them, the source, said that Caitlin Clark was not going to be on that team, that they knew when they told them that Caitlin Clark was ultimately going to be on the team and that this was just all a publicity stunt to get the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, Clark on the team. I don't know that because Caitlin put up like 30 the other night in the WNBA. Caitlin's pretty good. I don't know that one. Are you sure Caitlin wouldn't win? But who cares? I'd rather us lose with Caitlin Clark on the team, which we won't. I'd rather us lose with Caitlin Clark than win without Caitlin Clark. And it should also be noted, Stephen A. brought up the Dream Team. Well, in 1992, Magic Johnson was retired exactly 0. Took the best college guys to go with the pros. Well, I'm sorry, but I am convinced that there is no way that they sat there in the room and said, no on Caitlin Clark. Knowing what the goal of the Olympics is, it's to grow the game. This isn't even about America. The Dream Team wasn't about making basketball popular in America. The Dream Team was about making basketball popular around the world. And you don't think Caitlin Clark's going to get a bunch of people to pay attention to women's basketball? They get everybody to pay attention to women's basketball when she plays in this country. Why wouldn't you do it anywhere else? So I am convinced that Caitlin will be on that team. Ian? Dun, 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 dun. I guarantee that Caitlin Clark will go to Paris and will represent the United States of America in the Paris Games. You heard it here first. Have you heard that take from anybody else?
That she'll be a part of the team at some point?
Yes.
I don't know. Not that comes to mind.
I'm just telling you. Everybody's complaining about it, and I'm complaining about it too. But I believe she will be on that team. I mean, I'm telling you, she'll be on the team. And if she's not, everybody should be fired. So put me down for the guarantee that Caitlin Clark will be there. Oh, my God. We got one of these anti-Brittany Griner takes in here. It's like, buddy, like, go root for Russia. Like, let me say this about Russia. I actually know, I don't know if he's still the coach or not, but I used to know the coach, the Russian coach, dude named Boris. Really, really nice guy. He came over to America when I was at Louisville, and he came over for like a month and was like with the team every day for a month. And this guy's the head coach in Russia, and the Russian Olympic team was like paying for him to be over here. I don't know, maybe he was spying on something. I don't know. He did not seem like he was spying, but he was over here, watching practice, drills, things like that, kind of coaching, talking European ball kind of stuff. Great guy. And I remember that in 2012 when the Olympics were going down and Russia was playing, I was like, it's Boris. I'm like, I took shots with that guy because he was like, oh, no, we take shots. In Russia, we take shot of vodka before we go to bed. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. But you over here, mad about Brittany Griner, you go root for Russia then, I guess. I'll be rooting for America. 615-737-1025 is the phone number here on Stillman and Company. We'll roll through some of these on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
That was Caitlin Clark, classy as always, handling the media circus after she was not named to the team. I can't believe it. I am so disappointed that they didn't. But I think it's all a conspiracy theory. I think that Caitlin Clark will be on this team and that America will get what they want. And I have guaranteed it, that Caitlin Clark will be on that team. By the way, we got to have a talk about women's basketball here for a second. Ian, did you see the woman from the Chicago Sky go off on the media yesterday?
No.
So apparently the Chicago Sky, it's a team that has Angel Reese. And I believe the Chicago Sky is the same team where the girl that pushed Caitlin a couple weeks ago that caused all that drama. So this team must just be the worst team in the history of basketball. Now, they do have Dana Evans on that team, and I like Dana Evans a lot, so I'm not going to just completely throw them under the bus. But apparently some player on the Chicago Sky was asked what the bench needs to do. It was like, hey, what does the bench need to do going forward? I just saw the little video on Twitter. And she yelled at the media person, was like, what do you think they need to do? What did they do last game? They played well. Okay, what did they not do this game? Okay. And then got up and left. I'm like, we need to have a talk with women's basketball. As Caitlin Clark makes your sport more popular, and I can say these things about women's basketball because I like women's basketball. It's a big part of my life. As Caitlin Clark makes your sport more popular, have some class. Have some dignity around the game. That's like all this jealousy about, Caitlin Clark's not one of the 12 best people in the league. Right, and when your next TV contract comes out and you guys are all making way more money, you should thank her. It'll be okay. JC in Goodlettsville says that the Dream Team was to exact revenge for the 88 Olympics loss when Russia used pros, not to grow the game internationally, but that was a byproduct. If that's the case, then why was Magic on the team and why was Bird on the team? That's where I have a hard time with this idea that at that point in time, of course, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were great players. But at that point in time, Magic Johnson was retired from the game of basketball because he had AIDS. And at the time, we didn't know a lot about AIDS. And so it was like, oh, you have AIDS, you can't play. And in the case of Larry was done. Larry was injured. Larry was done. He didn't play a single game after Barcelona. So why would all of a sudden, it be, we're going to show the Russians, so let's put Larry Bird in there? I mean, if Larry's time had passed, Larry's time had passed. If all we're trying to do is beat Russia and we're trying to beat them by 1,800 points, then let's get somebody else who's younger in there because, no. Magic started 5 of the 6 games, I believe. Jordan started all 6. You mean to tell me that at that point in time in 1992, that Magic Johnson was better than Clyde Drexler? Granted, Magic's bigger than Clyde, and so you could put a forward in there, but you're telling me that at that point in time, Magic's retired, gained a little bit of weight, was starting to get not as big as he is today, but was starting to get a little big. You mean to tell me that Scottie Pippen at that point in time wasn't a better player than Magic Johnson? Of course he was. So I believe this was all about growing the game internationally. Now, it's not about getting. You put Michael Jordan on the floor, it doesn't matter who the other 4 guys are, you'll beat Russia. Crazy talk. That's it for us. We're out of here. Final Titans OTA tomorrow. And the Cats Brew Blitz is up next. Stillman and Company. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 2.